What's up, guys? Welcome back to Smart Money Academy. This is day 14th breaker block, and this is, by the way, my second time recording this back to back because last time I forgot to do this. So the whole time I'm talking and you guys can't see the chart or you can't see anything at all of what's going on. I'm just fresh out the shower. Sorry about that. So, all right, let's get into breaker blocks once again. I'm gonna draw two things here. Oh my God, hold on. I'm gonna draw two things here. A continuation breaker block, which not a lot of YouTubers talk about, okay, but I think it's probably just as good, if not better for me, okay? So a breaker block to get started is a failed order block. So you have your uptrend, you get your market structure shift, okay, or liquidity sweep or whatever, and market breaks back above your previous high. So you made a higher high, higher high, higher low, lower low. You expect lower high, it makes a higher high. What does that mean? It means we're bullish. This was probably a liquidity sweep. If you're drawing liquidity and your narrative is up here, that means you were still fine. This is probably what you were looking for anyways. And you get your breaker block right here at the previous high before the liquidity sweep. Okay. So if you were to be bearish here, you would have probably FVGs, FVGs, FVGs. And up here, like I said in my OB video, this would be your last line of defense, which is the order block. Once that breaks, it becomes a breaker block. Okay, so you expect price to pull back to it to then continue higher. Now, it's important to mix the breaker blocks with everything else that I've taught you guys. Okay, so trend up, liquidity sweep, good. Displacement up, good towards your draw liquidity. Okay, if you have your narrative, this displacement is fake, it's a liquidity sweep. Okay, go back, pull back OTE maybe, right? And for your breaker block, this here no, but usually it will. So usually it's gonna be like this. Usually, not always, right? Not everything's perfect, but usually maybe like this, right? So this is the ideal breaker block. Probably have an FVG here as well, and you can just send that to the moon, okay? Oh my God, I keep doing that. I did it in the last video too. All right. Well, the last video I did not post because I forgot to record the right screen. Now, most of these YouTubers and TikTokers and gurus are gonna show you this breaker block right here, which is also good. But it happens a lot less, and I feel like the win rate is a lot less high simply because not every day you're going to get a reversal unless this breaker block works if you're good at time frame alignment. I personally use this breaker block almost every day. I'll get into that in probably in later videos, but pretty much what that is you have your trend up, you get your reversal, market structure shift, your displacement is here, okay? Or now your drawn liquidity is here, you displace towards it. You expected the pullback here. You have your entry. Okay. It's like this. Actually, I'm not gonna put the fibs to mess with you guys or to confuse you guys. I'm just gonna put the breaker blocks. So like this. Now, if I was to jump into fractality a little bit, now bear with me, guys. It's gonna be a little more advanced. But this on the 5 or the 1 minute time frame can be the first model I showed you guys on the 15 minute. So let me give you guys an example. We're in a downtrend, all right? And we're going down and we're going down towards this drawn liquidity, okay? Now, do this like this. The breaker block, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? It's here, right? Now, this move right here, if you were to zoom in, it's this. So the lower time frame uptrend, market structure shifts in reverse to back to the higher time frame downtrend. Does that make sense? If not, drop a comment, I'll answer it. Also, you can join the Discord, I answer every single question in there. So, let's say I was to go here, okay? I had already found this one on the first time I did the video. So, market is going up, 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 pulls back down. Are you expecting this to go down here? If you are, well, honestly, technically you shouldn't be. This example. I explained why this example was not too good because we've been bearish for so long. This is the first time in a million years that we've had actually bullish action. But bear with me for a second and imagine we've been bullish this whole time, okay? I could find one for bears, but it would take time out of the video, and it's the same principle. So you have your trend. It's going up, okay? And market does this right here. Okay? Now, your breaker is here, right? Your breaker is here. Why? Because you have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, higher high, right? You guys see the same thing as me here? So when you get the retest of this breaker here, you guys can look for reactions, look for your entry signals, and target a like 1 to 2 or 1 to 3 easily. Enter at the top of the OB, which usually for me is the top of the candle, not the wick. Stop at the bottom of it, which would be right here. Okay. And target the high, which is a 1 to 3.5. Okay. So I will try for you guys to find a one that goes with the trend. But with all these moves here, it's a little more complex. But here, I think maybe in New York is always good because that's what we trade. So you have your move. So you have let me grab the pen actually. Do I have it here? Yeah. Lower low or lower high? Lower high, lower low, lower low, lower ho, lower high, higher low, higher high. This confuses me, all these circles. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is you're in your downtrend, okay? On the lower time frame, this here goes like this, right? And then if I was to drop time frames, hopefully I can find it again after doing that. It's here. You can see your sweep move down and it retraced into it. You have your sweep move down right here, reaches back into it, and it goes, okay? So the way it works is if I was to make it as simple as possible for you guys, so you guys don't get confused, okay? An OB or a breaker is an order block that was disrespected. Now, I want you guys to remember this? No. What I want you guys to take from this video is as simple as this, okay? You have your trend, okay? You get a liquidity sweep, okay? It goes back in favor of your trend, right? You can drop time frames if it's not clear enough. Sometimes it won't be, but you can have perfectly good breakers on the 15 minute, just like you can have breakers on the 15 that show like the one I showed you here that show easier on the lower time frame. So when you look at this here, you say, okay, we're bearish, but clearly we got a liquidity sweep here. There's a breaker block hidden in somewhere in there, okay? So again, what I want you guys to take from this video is you have your trend. You have your drawn liquidity, which is, let's say, this green line, okay? You get your liquidity sweep. You get your displacement, market structure, shift back, breaker structure, whatever, towards your drawn liquidity, okay? I would mark OTE and everything in a real trade, but we won't do that today. Today, I want you guys to be able to identify the breaker blocks. You mark out your breaker block, which is the last candle in the opposite direction of where you're going that closed. So to make it simple, if you're on a downtrend, it's the last bullish candle on this leg, and if you're bearish, it's the last, or if you're bullish, it's the last bearish candle. So if I was to go back here on my Asia example, we are bullish, okay? The leg that sweeps is bearish. We pull back bullish. So you grab the bullish candle, okay? Some people grab the bearish one. I like to grab the one that goes with the trend because to me, that's just what worked the best, okay? So your breaker block, technically your breaker block should be just the order block that failed. So realistically, it should be this here. This here. Okay? But I use the whole candle like this. Okay. So again, I'm gonna say again, I want to drill this into your head. I want you guys to go into your charts and find them. You find your trend. Your trend is down. You see a liquidity sweep. It's not very clear. You drop time frames. Okay? When you drop time frames, this, what I just showed you, looks like this. Okay? Your breaker block is here on the higher time frame. Get all this bullish action, you get your bearish confirmation, you get your bearish retest of the breaker block. I want you guys to be able to identify all this, okay? Once that happens, you can mark your breaker block and you can find your entry signal from there. For me, that's just changing the state of delivery, but we're going to get into that later. It can be an inverse fair value gap. I'll also teach you guys that later. It can be a lot of different things, but I don't think we're quite at the entry yet. I want you guys to be able to identify the breaker blocks, okay? I think I've gone over everything I was supposed to go over, but after doing it twice, I kind of I kind of forget. Um, but yeah, if you guys have any questions, you can drop them in the comments below. Also important to use with everything else I've taught, right? You can use it with market structure shift, FVG, EQ, OTE. Important to use with time, definitely in a kill zone in the New York session, hopefully. Also in a macro, it's even better. And yeah, so if you guys have any question on this great reversal tool or continuation tool, depending on what you're using it for, um, let me know. And yeah, breaker block is just the best way to tell if a move was fake to me. It was a liquidity sweep, and it's just a great tool to have at your advantage. So that being said, guys, don't forget to follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram, subscribe to my YouTube, ring the bell to be notified when I post. And if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, that'd be great too. I trade live daily on YouTube and TikTok and Twitch. If you guys want to come watch, I do the $100 to $50,000 challenge, so that's always fun and exciting. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.